What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. 231, coming to you with my little series on my journey into the Air Force. I hope this video and this series will be informative, help you guys out, especially for people that are a little up there in age, in their 30s, that are looking at joining the Air Force. I hope my experience and my videos will, help you out and kind of give you a little bit of what to expect when you're going through the process of enlisting to the Air Force. So, my experience started out in August. I walked into my recruiter's office and let them know, hey, I wanted to start the process of enlistment. So, we sat down. I let them know, like, hey, I don't need any leaflets or anything like that. Like, hey, let's start the process because I want to join the Air Force. So when you sit down with your recruiter, you go through a little bit of interview process. You sit down, you talk about kind of what you're looking at doing, your goals, aspirations while in the Air Force and everything, and then you sit down and he'll enter all your information in the AFRIS and get the thing rolling. Now, my advice, if you really are actually serious about joining and you want the process to speed up just a little bit, I would advise you, when you go in there, have your birth certificate, your driver's license, your diploma or GED, and if you been to college or anything like that, already have your official transcripts with you, because that right there will eliminate a lot of back and forth going between you having to go to your recruiting office or your recruiter having to contact you saying, hey, I need this, I need that. So if you're first going in there and you already know that you're trying to go ahead and enlist, make sure you bring those documents. All right. Now, if you got kids, have their information too. Bring their birth certificates, their social security cards as well, because your recruiter is going to log all of that in his AFRIS. All right. His AFRIS, that's just a software that all the recruiters use. It's pretty much your timestamp and your tracking all the way throughout your process until you dep in. So first off, make sure you have all of those documents with you. So therefore, it'll kind of speed up your process a little bit. Next, after your recruiter inputs all of that information in the AFRIS, you're going to end up having to fill out your security book, all right, for your security clearance. Now, for everybody in the Air Force, everybody automatically is going to get a secret security clearance, all right, because your clearances determines what type of jobs you can get. So you're going to get a thick ass packet that you got to go home, you got to fill out. It's going to go in depth about everything regarding you, your family, your background, all the jobs you done had, all the places you done live. So make sure that you know where your mom's, your dad, or your sister, brother, people that you're close to or whatnot. Make sure that you know their number, their address if you if you can get it, and phone numbers. I think I already just said that, but make sure you got all the information. And then as well as make sure you got about 4 to 5 references that you can list down that's not family members. You know what I'm saying? So people from your job, people from your community, if you've been a part of organizations, anything like that, just just get you about 4 or 5 people of their names And if you can get their addresses or close to it, because you're going to have to put that down in your security packet as well. It's about 30 some odd pages of just thorough questions, digging into your background, because they're going to have to run that shit once you get to MEPS and everything like that. And they got a liaison that goes over your security background before you can even go to the next step. All right. So make sure that starting out, that if you want to be on top of the game. So in my case, I was already on top of the game because I tried to enlist about 5 years ago. So I already kind of had a heads up on what to expect. So when I went into my recruiter's office, I had already had my birth certificate, everything like that, and I already had in my mind the people that I was going to put down on my security packet and everything like that. So when my recruiter gave me my security packet, I told him, hey, I'll have it back to you tomorrow because I already know what I need to put down, Because the thing about it is during the process of enlistment, you hear this, you probably heard this from all type of YouTube videos if you watched them. The process is a game of hurry up and wait. All right. That's just the reality of it. Ain't no way around it. It's just a big ass game of hurry up and wait. You feel me? So if you want to expedite your game of hurry up and wait to kind of reduce your waiting period, make sure you come prepared. If you come prepared, man, that's going to show your recruiter, man, that you about business. All right. If you go in your recruiter's office bullshitting, they going to bullshit you. All right. That's just how it is. It all depends on the area that you in and whether or not your recruiter has to get, if they up for their quarter for numbers, if they trying to get numbers in, or if that recruiter has already pushed out the amount of people that they need for that quarter and stuff like that, and you trying to get in and you bullshitting, they ain't really gonna fuck with you like that. You know what I'm saying? They gonna see that you bullshitting around. So if you coming up prepared, coming up with all your documents, your paperwork, and stuff like that, you get your security clearance booklet taken care of. The security application. You get that taken care of, it's gonna look good on your end. All right, because like I said, in AFRIS, everything is timestamped. So anytime you come visit, it's getting logged in your AFRIS, and that goes up to the commander. All right, your recruiter's boss. They gonna look at that, and if there's anything that might come up down the line, anything like that, they gonna go back and reference that to kind of see, either A, how serious you is about joining, or B, are you that type of person that do they see if you was a good fit even to go into the Air Force? You feel me? So in my case, I got my security book. I took it home. It took me probably about an hour or so to fill out because I knew all my jobs that I had, because it really wasn't much, because all the jobs that I had, I stayed at it for years. So I really didn't have to put too many jobs down. They're going to go back to about 10 years. So make sure that within the past 10 years, you have a pretty good idea of the places that you done worked, the places you done lived, and things like that. So therefore, when you get down to fill out your packet, it's not going to take you forever. You got to go and scramble and try to find addresses and phone numbers and stuff like that from businesses or whatnot. So once you move on from that, they got to go and put it in AFRIS. It's a liaison that's going to go over your security packet, and that lets you know whether or not you got the green light if you pass your security background. After that, now, here comes the next thing. And here's where my situation got very unique. There's something called an FED. An FED is your financial eligibility determination. So if you're over the age of 25, you're going to have to come up on an FED. Now, with that, all that is they're going to run a credit check on you. All right. They gonna run a credit check to make sure that you don't have anything in collections, any charge-offs, any negative derogatory marks on your credit report, or like any type of liens or garnishments that may be on your credit report. Because if you had those, that's gonna disqualify you. You won't be able to move on until you get that stuff taken care of, because you can't have anything inside of your credit report that's on the negative side. You know, I got student loans and stuff like that. You can have student loans as long as your stuff is in good standings, you good. But if they in default or in collections or charge-offs, you definitely gonna have to get that taken care of before you can move further. All right. And check out my video on the FED process, because I'll let you know about all the things that you might need to do in order to pass your FED, so therefore you can move on in your recruiting process. So when you're getting your FED and stuff taken care of, if you get the green light, if you're good to go on that, you get your date to go to MEPS to do your ASVAB and your TAPIS and cyber tests. So pretty much all of those tests right there is going to be your bread and butter on determining what jobs you qualify for in the Air Force. And after that comes the very fun part of a shit ton of paperwork. And the biggest thing that you're going to go over with when you first talk with your recruiter is you're going to go over your health screening. All right. It's going to be about 100 some odd questions on everything that's got to deal with your health, dating all the way back to when you was a kid. All right. Now, when answering those questions, some of those questions that you answer may or may not disqualify you, or some of those questions actually may require you to have to go get medical documentation to figure out whether or not you would medically qualify for the Air Force. All right. So be mindful that when it comes to that section, that A, you answer it truthfully, and B, really determine that, you know, if it's something that, are you diagnosed with something? Did you medically get diagnosed with something, or do you just think you have a reaction to something? All right. Because those are two totally different things. All right. And your recruiter will explain that, you know, they'll explain that more to you when they go over it. But just know that when you go over your medical history, it's going to be a shit ton of questions dealing with anything from your eyes to your teeth, all the way to drug use, to surgeries. All right. So don't be afraid about it. Ask shit tons of questions if you don't know. All right. For me, my stuff was a breeze. I'm a former college football player. I played high school, semi-pro, college, and thank God that I never broke a bone or had any serious injuries. So I was pretty much good on the medical clearance part. And then lastly, with my first journey going in here, after you get your FED, which that took probably about altogether probably about 2.5 to 3 weeks, all right, to get all of that taken care of. Next is gonna come everybody's favorite part, and that is to take the ASVAB. Now, the ASVAB stands for the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, and that pretty much is going to determine A, whether or not you qualified or eligible to join the military, and B, is going to determine what type of jobs you can get. All right. So if you've been looking around, knowing that, hey, man, I want this job, I want that job, you know, your ASVAB and your line scores has to match up to even be able to qualify and be eligible for the type of job that you want. So with taking the ASVAB, it ain't nothing to it. It ain't nothing to it. All right. And I'm going to make a video about the ASVAB and the PICAP and the verification later on. So stay tuned for that, because that's a whole nother beast. But after that, when you go in and you take the ASVAB, you know, you can either take it one or two places. You can either take the PICAP, you can take the ASVAB. You know what I'm saying? You can either go off the MEPS, take your stuff, and that all depends on your recruiter and how the process goes. So in Michigan, where I was enlisting at, you can go off the MEPS and take your ASVAB, or you could do your PICAT right inside of the recruiter station. So it all depends on where your recruiter thinks that you could possibly excel in. They might send you off to do they might just send you off the MEPS just to do the ASVAB, or they may give you a practice. So they might end up giving you a practice. For me, I've already taken the ASVAB years ago. So in AFRIS, my stuff already had popped out. So they seen that I've already taken the ASVAB before. But if you're somebody new and fresh coming in there, you might end up having to take a practice first. And then they either may send you off the MEPS to go take the ASVAB, or they may just have you take the PICAT. All right? But I'm going to end it right here. That does it for this first part of my series on my journey to the Air Force. If you like what you've seen, smash the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. And I'll get back with y'all at another time. This your boy, Mr. 231, signing off. Peace.